St. Patty's Day, as many of you are aware, has grown into a weekend event that is considered potentially more destructive than a home game that starts at 8 p.m. in terms of vandalism, arrests, emergency room visits, and the high cost to the university in terms of reputational risk, and high cost to the town in overtime, law enforcement, the burden on the local medical system. To say that St. Patty's Day strains town-gone relations is an understatement. The partnership on dangerous drinking this year, they've been working for a while on this, but this year they pulled out even more stops to discourage the influx of out-of-towners to State College. Residence halls limited the number of out-of-town guests. Fraternities held no social events. Apartments communicated to residents that large parties would not be tolerated. And most creatively, tavern owners were given $5,000 each to not serve alcohol that weekend. So, and 25 to 30 of them cooperated. So the word got out that this was not a very interesting place to be that weekend for a lot of the out-of-town guests who really wanted a big party. Damon was very modest, but we have to give him credit for coming up with a creative, solution to, or at least how he was going to fund the grants to I'm calling them grants. I don't know what they call them, the tavern owners, but I'll call them grants. He took parking proceeds that he had as a fund from previous St. Patty's Day and used that money to make these amounts. I want to call on, now Damon is, I say, is very modest, and but he did come up with this creative thing. But I will tell you that he would be very disappointed as the staff to our committee if I didn't give the lion's share, which he feels is well deserved, to the students for their role in this. They were true partners, and the student leaders really took a tough line, and I'm sure risks a lot of their own personal popularity by doing videos on encouraging their colleagues, their friends, compatriots to not participate fully in the illegal aspects of activities. And I'm going to call on the vice chair of our committee, Peter Corey, who, of course, is a student representative on this board, very close. He's come up through student government, very close to the students who monitor it. And I know he can give some comments on what the effect was this year of the student participation on arrests and so forth. Peter, I wonder if you can help us out.
Thank you, Chair Alexander. And I would just want to note that for those of you who don't know what State Patty's Day is, it's a student-created drinking event which has been very detrimental to not only our community but also very disruptive to our image as a university. I would like to add that this past year I monitored the event via social media, and preliminary reports indicate that citations and arrests are down 40%, and I certainly attribute much of this to the hard work of Damon Sims and the student leaders who are sitting behind me, and once again their effective strategies which you've outlined this afternoon. I'd be happy to answer any questions about it if there are any.
One of the footnotes, very important one, is that student volunteers cleaned up the neighborhoods, residential neighborhoods afterwards for this, and that went a long way to improving town gas relations. There also was a Bon Jovi concert, I guess, at the Bryce Jordan Center that supposedly was to divert attention away from St. Patty's Day. But I understand that some of the arrests and some of the medical emergency visits were related to that concert, quite ironically. But at any rate, thank you very much to the students, and thank you, Peter, for adding to that.